1. Under Pennsylvania's Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission, MPOETC, requirements, what is the minimum number of training hours required for Act 120 certification? A. 520 hours. Then 60 hours. C. 19 hours. D. 1,040 hours. 2. According to MPOETC regulations, which of the following is not a mandatory topic area in the Act 120 basic training curriculum? A. Constitutional law and civil rights. B. Advanced tactical operations. C. Use of force and firearms training. D. Crisis intervention and mental health awareness. 3. What is the maximum time frame allowed for a police officer candidate to complete Act 120 certification after being hired by a Pennsylvania law enforcement agency? A. 6 months. B. 12 months. C. 18 months. 24 months. 4. Under Pennsylvania law, which entity is responsible for certifying police training schools to deliver Act 120 training? A. Pennsylvania State Police. B. Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission. C. Pennsylvania Department of Education. D. County District Attorney's Office. 5. In the context of MPOETC training standards, what is the minimum passing score required for written examinations in the Act 120 program? A. 65%. B. 70%. C. 75%. D. 80%. 6. Which adult learning principle is most emphasized in scenario-based training exercises commonly used in Act 120 programs? A. Rote memorization. B. Experiential learning. C. Passive observation. D. Independent study. According to MPOETC guidelines, how often must certified police officers complete mandatory in-service training to maintain their certification? Annually. B. Every 2 years. C. Every 3 years. D. Every 5 years. 8. What is the primary purpose of the use of force continuum taught in Act 120 training? A. To provide officers with unlimited discretion in force application. B. To establish a framework for proportional response to threats. C. To mandate lethal force in all assault situations. D. To eliminate the need for verbal de-escalation. 9. In Act 120 training, which constitutional amendment is most frequently emphasized regarding search and seizure procedures? A. First Amendment. B. Second Amendment. C. Fourth Amendment. D. Sixth Amendment. 10. Under MPOETC regulations, which of the following circumstances would automatically disqualify a candidate from Act 120 certification? A. A misdemeanor conviction from 10 years ago. B. A felony conviction. C. A traffic violation within the past year. D. Previous employment termination. 11. What is the minimum age requirement to enroll in an Act 120 police training program in Pennsylvania? A. 18 years old. B. 19 years old. C. 21 years old. D. 25 years old. 12. In curriculum development for Act 120 programs, which instructional method is considered most effective for teaching defensive tactics? A. Lecture-based instruction only. B. Video demonstrations without practice. C. Hands-on practical application with supervised repetition. D. Written case study analysis. 13. According to MPETC standards, what is the required instructor-to-student ratio for firearms training in Act 120 programs? 1 to 5. B. 1 to 8. 1 to 10. 1 to 15. 14. Which legal doctrine, heavily emphasized in Act 120 training, allows officers to stop and frisk individuals based on reasonable suspicion? A. Miranda Doctrine. B. Terry Doctrine. C. Exclusionary Rule. D. Fruit of the Poisonous Tree. 15. In the context of Act 120 training evaluation methods, which assessment type provides the most comprehensive measure of an officer's real-world capabilities? A. Multiple choice written exams only. B. Practical skills demonstrations and scenario-based assessments. C. Peer evaluation. D. Self-assessment surveys. 16. What is the primary focus of community-oriented policing training modules in Act 120 curriculum? A. Aggressive enforcement strategies. B. Building partnerships and problem-solving with community members. C. Military-style tactical operations. D. Revenue generation through citations. 17. Under Pennsylvania law, which of the following statements about Act 120 certification reciprocity is true? A. All out-of-state certifications are automatically recognized. B. No out-of-state certifications are recognized under any circumstances. C. MPOETC may waive certain requirements for qualified out-of-state officers through a waiver process. D. Only federal law enforcement certifications are recognized. 18. In Act 120 training, what does the acronym OODA Loop represent in tactical decision-making? A. Orient, Decide, Act. Order, Organize, Deploy, Assess. C. Officer, Offender, Defense, Arrest. D. Operational, Organizational, Directional, Administrative. 19. Which of the following is a primary component of the physical fitness evaluation in Act 120 certification? A. Maximum bench press weight. B. Job-related physical ability testing. C. Competitive athletic performance. Body mass index calculation only. 20. According to MPOETC guidelines, what is the mandatory retraining requirement if a certified officer has been separated from law enforcement for more than 3 years? A. Complete a refresher course only. B. Retake the entire Act 120 program. C. Pass a written exam only. D. Complete 40 hours of in-service training. 21. In the Act 120 curriculum, which approach to communication is emphasized when dealing with individuals in crisis? A. Authoritative commands only. B. Active listening and de-escalation techniques. C. Minimal verbal interaction. D. Immediate physical restraint. 22. What is the legal standard for an officer to conduct a lawful arrest as taught in Act 120 training? A. Reasonable suspicion. Probable cause. C. Preponderance of evidence. D. Beyond a reasonable doubt. Under MPOETC regulations, which type of force is considered deadly force? A. Any physical contact with a suspect. B. Force likely to cause death or serious bodily injury. Use of handcuffs. Verbal commands. 24. In Act 120 training, what is the primary purpose of teaching officer safety tactics? To ensure officers can overpower any suspect. B. To minimize risk to officers while performing duties. C. To avoid all physical confrontations. D. To maximize arrest statistics. 25. Which of the following best describes implicit bias training included in modern Act 120 curricula? A. Training on explicit discriminatory practices. B. Awareness of unconscious prejudices that may affect decision-making. C. Legal requirements for profiling. D. Historical law enforcement practices. 26. According to MPTTC standards, what is the minimum number of hours dedicated to firearms training in the Act 120 program? A. 40 hours. B. 60 hours. C. 80 hours. D. 100 hours. 27. In the context of Act 120 training, what does exigent circumstances refer to? A. Routine patrol procedures. B. Emergency situations justifying warrantless entry or search. C. Standard traffic stop protocols. D. Administrative paperwork requirements. 28. Which teaching methodology is most effective for adult learners in Act 120 programs according to andragogy principles? A. Instructor-centered lecture with no interaction. B. Problem-centered, experiential learning with real-world application. C. Memorization of statutes without context. D. Exclusively online self-paced modules. 29. Under Pennsylvania law, what is required before a certified police officer can carry a firearm on duty? A. Act 120 certification only. B. MPOETC firearms qualification and annual requalification. C. A concealed carry permit. D. 5 years of experience. 30. In Act 120 training, which factor is most critical when evaluating whether an officer's use of force was reasonable? A. The suspect's criminal history. B. The totality of circumstances known to the officer at the time. C. The officer's personal feelings about the suspect. D. The outcome of the encounter. 31. What is the primary goal of cultural competency training in Act 120 curriculum? A. To learn foreign languages. B. To understand and respect diverse communities and reduce bias. C. To enforce immigration laws. D. To avoid interacting with different communities. 32. According to MPC guidelines, which of the following is required for an Act 120 instructor to maintain teaching certification? A. Annual continuing education in instructional methods and subject matter. B. No ongoing requirements after initial certification. C. Teaching at least 500 hours per year. D. A master's degree in criminal justice. 33. In the Act 120 curriculum, what is the legal basis for Miranda rights? A. Fourth Amendment protections. B. Fifth Amendment protections against self-incrimination. C. Sixth Amendment right to counsel. D. Eighth Amendment protections. 34. Which of the following scenarios would constitute a violation of the exclusionary rule as taught in Act 120 training? A. Using evidence obtained through a valid search warrant. B. Using evidence obtained through an illegal search in court. C. Conducting a consensual search. D. Arresting someone with probable cause.